Hi, I'm Sophie from Master Sophie. Welcome to our latest video series for AS and A-level maths. In this series, we're going to be covering everything to do with roots of quadratic equations, completing the square. We're going to be touching on factorizing and graphing as well. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to learn how to do in Key Skill 1 is factorizing. So I'm going to take this expression and I'm going to factorize it. This is quite a common A-level question, so the first thing that you need to notice is all of them include at least one x. So I'm going to put that on the outside. So x times by x squared will be x cubed, because remember that's x power 1, plus x minus 6. So I factored out the x. Now, inside the brackets, here inside, we have a quadratic equation. There's a few different ways to factorize a quadratic equation, but what I like to do is look at two numbers. So you set up your brackets. Two numbers that multiply for minus 6 and add up for 1. Although you can't see it here, x is the same as 1x. So what you can do is over on the side, you can make a little table. So you want to multiply for minus 6 and add up for 1. So let's do an example so you can see how this works. I could say minus 6 times 1. Minus 6 times 1 would multiply for minus 6. But minus 6 plus 1 would be minus 5. And I'm looking for 1. So I can have another attempt. I can say, for example, 2 times minus 3. That would multiply for minus 6, but 2 minus 3 would be minus 1. And I'm looking for plus 1. Just going to extend this line here. I'm close though, because I have the correct number, but the wrong sign. So what you do in that situation is you switch the minus. So I will have minus 2 times plus 3. Minus 2 times plus 3. Minus times a plus is a minus, and 2 times 3 is 6. And minus 2 plus 3, it's 1. So this is the correct combination. Minus 2 and 3. So you've got 3 brackets for an x cubed expression. It may look like only 2 brackets, but you could also, I suppose, write this one like x plus 0, x minus 2, x plus 3. Now, that's the factorized version here. If the question asks you to go one step further and solve, you need to make each of those brackets equal to 0. So the first one will be x equals to 0. The second one will be x minus 2 equals to 0. A little bit more space down here. So x equals to 0, x minus 2 equals to 0, and x plus 3 equals to 0. So coming from each of those, this one is already finished. To finish this one, I need to move the minus 2 to the other side. 0 plus 2 will be 2. And here I need to move the plus 3 to the other side. And 0 minus 3 will be 3. So my 3 solutions are x equal to 0, x equals to 2, x equals to minus 3. So my 3 solutions for my quadratic equation. If they ask you to graph it, you want to set up a little coordinate axis like this. We're going to do a very rough graph here. You've got x equals to 0, x equals to 2, and x equals to minus 3. So these will be the 3 points of intersection of your graph with the x-axis. You may also want the point where your graph will intersect the y-axis. And to get that, you simply substitute in, if this is y equals to, x equals to 0. So you can see that if x is 0, be 0 cubed plus 0 squared minus 6 times 0. So that intercept will still be here, x equals to 0, y equals to 0. You should know that your cubic shape is going to be like this. So that's a rough sketch of the cubic graph that you are given. So depending on what they ask you, you can either factorize, which will bring you to here, solve, which is one step further, where you make each of these brackets here equal to 0, and that gives you 3 solutions. And if they ask for a rough sketch, then you need to put each of these 3 numbers onto the x-axis and draw your y equals x cubed shape graph going through these points. Let's move on to some more factorization questions. Let's have a look at another example where we're asked to factorize. In this example as well, you can see that we can take out an x from both of these expressions. So you should always begin with factoring out any common factors. So that will leave me with x squared minus 16. Now this is a very special factorization called the difference of two squares, because 16 is a square number. 16 is 4 squared. You may not be aware of this rule, but there's a rule that says if you have a number squared minus another number squared, so a squared minus b squared, you can factorize it like this: a minus b, a plus b. So that's always a rule. You want to keep that in your mind, and we're going to follow that rule. We're going to keep the x on the outside, and we're going to have a is going to be x and b is going to be 4. So we're going to have x minus 4 and then x plus 4. So this is the expression completely factorized. If you're asked to solve, remember we have to let each of these equal to 0. X equals to 0. X equals to 0, firstly. X minus 4 equals to 0, secondly. And x plus 4 equals to 0, thirdly. So a cubic equation will have 3 solutions. X equals to minus 4 comes to the other side and is plus 4. And here plus 4 comes to the other side and is minus 4. So we'll have 3 solutions. I'm going to draw a little coordinate axis system. It's my x-axis, my y-axis. I'm going to mark in 0. I'm going to mark in 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All of these along the x-axis. And I'm going to mark in minus 4. 1, 2, 3. And so this is minus 4. Because it was a positive on the x cube, my shape is going to go from down to up, like a lightning bolt, but more like a smooth curve. So here's 0, 4. So I'm going to go up, circle back down to 0, go down, and go up. So you can see the lightning shape that I'm referring to. The third example is very similar. First of all, I'm going to take out the x. That's 25 minus x squared here. And I'm going to then factorize this again using my difference of two squares method. So this will be x, 5 minus x, bracket 5 plus x. Once again, using the rule on this part here, that a squared minus b squared is equal to a minus b times by a plus b. So that's my factorized version. My roots will be x equal to 0, 5 minus x equal to 0, and 5 plus x equals to 0. Now, in this one, I'll move the minus x to this side, and I'll change that minus x into plus x, leaving the 5 where it was. Here, I'm going to leave the x where it was and bring this 5 to this side. So that will be minus 5 because 0 minus 5. And these are my 3 solutions. To graph this, you need to be a little bit more careful because we've got a minus x cubed graph. So the process will begin the same. Here's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's minus 5. We're going to come from up to down. So that's the difference in shape between the minus x being on the x cubed or the other way around, down to up if the plus is on the x cubed. In question 4, we're not asked to graph anything, but it's just a bit of a tricky factorization. You want to put both of them as squares. So 64 is y squared, so you want the square to be outside the bracket. And 81 is 9 squared. So this will become my a and this will become my b. And the factorization will be 8y minus 9, a minus b, times by 8y plus 9, that's a plus b. So that's key skill 1 over, that's factorization, and we've touched a little bit on what the cubic graphs would look like. Please complete your key skill questions now and the exam questions, and I'll see you in the next key skill, which is about completing the square. Bye for now. The team at Math with Sophie have made a free ebook to go with this video series. We've broken the topic down into small, manageable sections. Each section has a video tutorial that you're already watching, interactive questions, and model solutions from exam questions. To claim your free ebook, you don't need to download anything, you don't need to sign up for anything. You simply click the link below and it will open in the web browser of your phone, tablet, or computer. If you enjoy using our free ebooks, make sure you check out our website because we have other ebooks on different topics.